Every single day, a single mechanism inside you pulses an incredible 100,000 times. It displaces nearly 2,000 gallons of fluid, generating enough force to drive liquid through tens of thousands of miles of narrow tubing. If human engineers built a mechanical pump to handle this continuous, non-stop workload, the machine would tear itself apart. The internal pressure and friction alone would destroy the moving parts in a matter of days. To figure out how your heart survives its own extreme power output, we need to reverse engineer it, stripping it down from the outer casing to the internal wiring. What you'll find is that this organ relies on a highly specific series of structural components to stay functional. It operates as a meticulously optimized biological engine. This diagram shows the spatial layout of your chest cavity. The engine sits right in the middle, in a space called the mediastinum, nestled tightly between the lungs and tilted slightly to the left. Because it never stops moving, the first major physical threat to the heart is friction against the surrounding organs. The body solves this with the pericardium, a double-layered, fluid-filled jacket wrapping the entire organ to act as constant lubrication. Looking at this cross-section of the heart wall, you see what sits beneath that thin protective casing. This thick middle layer is the myocardium. It's packed with specialized muscle cells that never fatigue, generating the physical force needed to compress the chambers. Inside that muscular wall is a final, ultra-smooth lining known as the endocardium. This sleek surface eliminates internal friction, ensuring blood glides through the chambers rapidly without clotting. Before a single drop of blood leaves the chambers, the physical housing of the heart has already neutralized the dual threats of external rubbing and internal resistance. Inside, a thick wall called the septum slices the heart straight down the middle. This physical barrier forces the organ to act as two completely separate pumps running side by side. This chart maps two routes. The right side handles the pulmonary loop, pushing oxygen-depleted blood to the lungs. The left side handles the systemic loop, driving oxygenated blood to every tissue. Because body-wide delivery requires massive pressure, the left ventricle has a dramatically thicker muscular wall. To keep these distinct high-pressure systems from collapsing into chaos, the heart uses 4 mechanical valves. These act as one-way security doors that easily push open to let blood advance, then violently snap shut to block any backward flow. When a doctor listens to your chest, that rhythmic lub-dub sound isn't the muscle contracting. You are hearing those literal biological doors slamming shut under fluid pressure. By splitting the workload into 2 isolated circuits and locking the pathways with mechanical valves, the system safely reoxygenates and distributes your blood at the exact same time without ever crossing the streams. The heart's independent electrical system sparks its current at the SA node. The wave ripples across the upper chambers, pushing blood down. The AV node pauses the signal so the ventricles fill. The signal then races down, triggering a powerful bottom-up contraction, ejecting the blood. Your nervous system and hormones like adrenaline don't act as the ignition switch for this process. Instead, they operate more like volume dials, simply telling the heart's internal pacemaker to speed up or slow down based on what your body needs in the moment. The brilliance of this pump is its autonomous timing. The embedded electrical software guarantees that the mechanical hardware fires in a perfect, unbroken sequence. Every single sequence is strictly divided into 2 phases. There is systole, the active contraction and ejection of fluid, followed immediately by diastole, the relaxation and refilling phase. Looking at this volumetric model, an average resting heart moves about 70 milliliters of blood per beat. Multiply that by a resting rate of 70 beats a minute, and you get a cardiac output of roughly 5 liters. That's your entire blood volume circulating every 60 seconds. Push the system into intense exercise, and capacity scales instantly. A healthy heart can ramp up to move an incredible 20 to 25 liters per minute. Over the course of an average human lifespan, this engine will execute this exact cycle an estimated 2.5 billion times. It never powers down for maintenance, and it never gets a day off. Nature provided you with a perfectly engineered, self-regulating machine. Reaching that 2.5 billion beat milestone comes down to the user. Proper lifestyle choices, daily stress management, and regular exercise are the required maintenance to keep the pump running.